Hi, my name's Dan McLaughlin. I'm a teacher here at Roosevelt High School. This is my room. You've reached my room. It's A103. It's one of the best rooms I've ever been in. I've been in this business for about 25 years. I'm 16 years here at Roosevelt and 8 years over at Castle High School. And I'm going to tell you, this is one of the best rooms I've ever been in. So come on, let me show you what it's like. So before we enter, there's a little sign on the door telling you who I am and where I graduated from. I graduated from Linfield College with a BA in English, and I went on to Chaminade University with a master's degree in education. It's a bunch of funny AI versions of me on the door here. As we enter this very cool room, I want you to notice the view. That's the first thing I noticed in this room, which is just an awesome view. It has a beautiful view of the tree and the field, and it can be quite distracting at times. I love it when the rain comes down and I feel very comfortable in my room. I like to put Christmas lights up for no reason at all. This is my side of the board. I do share this room with Ms. Ujoa. There's the dash. That's what we like. It basically tells the kids what we're doing. We're talking about grammar lately. I have a little side of my board here where I have some student work on display. This is just kind of a get to know you activity. Kids put 4 different symbols about themselves and their lives on it. We have some beautiful wooden cabinets. And over there is the fantastic big screen TV on which we can display a variety of things, anything from the lesson of the day to surfing videos. So, and oh yes, here's my desk, which is usually an incredible mess. Some people say that's a sign of genius. And there is the famous Mr. Mac bobblehead. Somebody made that for my birthday. All right. I think you'll probably hear a lot about catching the wave of excellence, which has become a theme here at Roosevelt High School. And I have to say, as an English major, as somewhat of a poet, I do write songs and poems myself. I find that metaphor to be slightly problematic in my classroom as we're watching this video of these fantastic waves and these surfers going up and down. And I'm trying to think about, okay, here's a wave of excellence that just kind of appears and we try to ride it, right? I just don't, for me, it's not the perfect metaphor. I'll show you what I think is more of a metaphor of my class in just a second. This is more of a metaphor for my class. My class is more of a workshop. In a workshop, you can strive for excellence by taking tiny steps toward it. Notice this craftsman, this Japanese craftsman, is painstakingly carving out a spoon. And he's doing it with hundreds, maybe thousands of little strokes, and each one with intention. And I think my class is more like his workshop. Kinds of activities that I do. One is the journal, and this seems like it's very easy, but it's often very challenging for some students. I just ask for 5 sentences for 5 points. And if they don't make that, they can always go back and redo it. And I'll have some sort of prompt for them to write on each day. Another thing we do is grammar, and we do one of these worksheets a day. It only has 5 grammar problems on it, and it takes about 10 minutes to do. And it covers a variety of grammar points per day. Another thing we do is called what I call a quick read. And what it is a Google form, and I put a reading on it, a short reading. And the reading has 6 questions. Actually, technically, there's 8 questions because one question has several more problems on it. Each question is worth 2 points, so it's 16 points. It's a lot. If they don't get it right, they can find out what problem they got wrong and go back and try to fix it. They can do that as many times as they want. And it's my little trick to get kids to go back and reread something, which is one of the hardest things to do. And I've found that it works sometimes. Another thing we do is vocabulary, and this is vocabulary, grade level vocabulary, SAT style vocabulary, from Greek and Latin roots. And so they're quite big words, but we do take our time with it, at least 2 weeks per word. And this is an example of an activity I do. It's sort of a grid. I have the word on one side. They can look up the definition. They can even look up the word used in a sentence, because I like to get proper sentences. And sure, it's nice for them to make up sentences, but I feel like at some level they need to get a correct sentence in there. And also looking for a picture, which I sometimes help them out if they need help looking for a picture that represents that word. Another thing we do is a longer reading. Here's one from The Adventures of Ulysses, otherwise known as the Odyssey. I put everything online and put it in some interesting colors here and there and chunked it out. I made the little chunks, so each little chunk has several questions that they have to answer. If they're just stuck or absent or homebound and just need some extra help, many, but not all, but many of these chapters will have this link. And if you click on the link, I won't click on it now because it takes a while to load. But if you click on the link, it'll bring you to a little video of me. And there I am. I don't know if you can hear this, but I try to highlight the text as I'm reading it. And hopefully hopefully that helps them out. So those are some of the activities. Another one is writing, which I find writing to be probably harder than reading, vocabulary, and grammar put together. I think writing is one of the skills that many of our students need a lot of work on. We use graphic organizers and a lot of scaffolding and chunking to make that happen. And that's just a little bit of what I do in my class. I try to bring a little bit of my life into my classroom. I've maybe a little bit older than a lot of teachers on campus. I did not go directly into teaching from college. The some of the jobs that I had during college and after college was a dishwasher in Walnut Creek, California. I was a bellman in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. In New Orleans, I was an arts and crafts salesman. In Oregon, I spent a lot of time in Oregon, and I worked crush season at Chateau Benoit Winery and worked at a Staten canning company. I picked walnuts. I worked at a pizza shop. I bussed tables and waited tables for 12 years in Portland, Oregon. I was a bouncer in a blues club. I worked some construction in Japan. I was on a couple of film crews. I taught English in Japan for 2 years in Tokyo Joho Daigaku, Kandagaigo, and Sumitomo Chemical. When I came back to Hawaii, I was a tour guide / teacher for foreign EL students at a private school here. I have 2 albums on Spotify, as well as I do this weird music that almost no one likes, but I'm coming out with an album. I play a rubber band on that album and play really weird guitar. But all of that, I think, makes me maybe a well-rounded person, at least an experienced person that kids can talk to. I'm going to show you a little montage of my life. I know it's kind of silly, but I just want you to know, give you guys an idea of who I am. So these are pictures that just happen to be on my camera roll.